Happy Friday, everybody. This past week has been a big week for everybody. It was a little bit of everything. Highs, lows, good news that was good news, bad news that was good news, you name it. We're about to embark on another long weekend thanks to Monday's President's Day, so watch for the market update next week on Tuesday. For now, today is February 16th, 2024, and this is your Friday planning video. I want to start today with some tales from the front lines, as I've been calling them. This is just some of the conversations and planning opportunities that have come up in the meetings that I've had this week. I'll say this much up front to get it out of the way, but recall that I do not give personal tax advice or legal advice. This is a great time to remind you that an introduction to me, to your tax and legal teams, it can be a great help in developing your plan. Let's revisit an old favorite, but we'll put a new twist on it. I tell you a lot about beneficiaries. Today, let me give you some real life examples. I got a call this week telling me about a father that had passed away and left some assets to his daughter. To his daughters. This was actually one of two of these this week, the other one in a moment. I tell you all of the time on these videos and in meetings that beneficiaries do matter, and they do. This question was, what happens when the owner of the IRA passes away and there are two living beneficiaries? Standard. As we all know that at some point in time, this will occur. Remember the quote, it's actually attributed to Jim Morrison from The Doors, for one, when he said, "No one here gets out alive." It's not to be morbid, but just instructive. When this occurs, the assets will be distributed to the heirs as outlined by the beneficiaries. There are special ways to set this up. You choose them when you choose the beneficiaries, but special ways to be sure that you control to a certain degree what will happen to the inheritance if one of your beneficiaries predeceases you, but you don't change the paperwork quickly enough. Ask me about that. It will be a lesson in Latin. The key to this is that the next actions that are required, those are the beneficiaries, it's changed in recent years. I've spoken a lot about the Secure Act and the Secure Act 2.0. For the weekend trivia contest, I will tell you, Secure is an acronym that stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. I hope that you win the contest on this one. Since the Secure Act passed in 2019, the non-spousal beneficiaries of an IRA or Roth IRA will be required to withdraw all the money from that account by December 31st of the 10th year after the passing. This is a big deal. Since the withdrawals from the traditional IRAs will be taxable to the beneficiary, this presents a lot of issues in planning, so we talk a lot about how to set up your financial plan to account for this. Planning is one thing. Please check your beneficiaries to be sure that the distribution can be orderly and simple. This is one less thing for your heirs to be concerned about. Okay, the other situation was an IRA account with the beneficiary. The only issue was that there was one non-spousal beneficiary listed and 3 siblings. Again, having a beneficiary will help. Having the wrong ones or incomplete ones will only complicate things. So the distribution can only be made to the named beneficiary. So the other siblings will not be included in that distribution. There are suggested ways that this can be worked out between the siblings, and that is what will probably happen. But note this. This one action that may or may not have been the plan of the parent has the potential to have ripple effects all over. A few quick examples. First, the taxes on the distribution will be due to the named beneficiary. So even if they share the distribution with the other siblings, that one has the taxes. Second, does this cause a rift in the siblings since the parent left the assets to just one? Don't know. And finally, and probably the most importantly, the income that is recognized by the named beneficiary can have an effect on the Medicare costs and Social Security of that sibling. So, as I will continue to do my beneficiary audits of your accounts, asking about them when we meet, please remember it does matter. I'm going to wrap this up with one more of those tales, the ever-present, do I use a trust or not use a trust question. I refer you back to my comment before that this is truly a legal planning question, and since I do not give legal advice, please bring your attorney into this. I also have a blog on my website from last June entitled Trusts Don't Grow on Trees that gives some thoughts on this as well. The point here is that in these videos, we talk about titles of your accounts a lot. And believe it or not, it does matter. In many cases and in many states, it matters for asset protection, it matters for estate distribution, it may even matter how the government looks at the assets in the event of Medicaid applications. This is not a simple decision, and it's not one you should undertake lightly. I'm happy to have preliminary conversations about what you have, but it will be part of the legal team to assist. It will be the part of the legal team to assist you in the proper titles on all of your accounts. Finally, for today, one tease about a future topic and one action item. The tease, I've told you that in the Secure Act 2.0, in addition to what we talked about today, open the door for unused 529 accounts to be rolled over to Roth IRAs. The details are starting to roll out, and I'll be sharing those soon, probably in a special video. And the action item. let's talk about donor-advised funds for a moment. We usually talk about these later in the year or maybe near tax time, but with the stock market near or at all-time highs and some stocks having made major positive price moves recently, we are hearing from our donor-advised fund partners that donors are increasing their funding of these accounts, and it's not only the older crowd, the younger crowd too. It's not just stocks. If you have other more complex assets, there may be a way to fund one of these accounts with that. And we've discussed the tax benefits before. I'll revisit that later at another time. For now, I'll be back Tuesday with the market update video, and I'll follow that with another Friday planning video next week. Please keep an eye out for some special videos or other ways to get some of this content to you in bite-sized pieces. Keep in touch, call with any questions, and have a great long weekend.